Hey shooters, this is Spencer with the Arms Room. We are very pleased to announce an exciting new training curriculum coming out this April. It's called the Arms Room Academy, which is a monthly training membership that follows a year-round curriculum. The Academy covers 4 main fundamentals of self-defense, which are weapons handling, combatives, situational awareness, and finally physical fitness. Training days will typically consist of classwork, after action breakdowns, sparring, high intensity interval workouts, force on force drills, scenario evolutions, and live fire exercises. Again, the Academy will be rolling out April of 2019. This video demonstration is just a small sample of what we will be covering at the Arms Room Academy. It's based off the Tueller 21-foot principle, where a knife-wielding attacker can stab a defender before they draw their firearm inside of 21 feet. Our demonstration, we look at a few different variables to see if they have an effect on the 21-foot rule, such as we broke up our defenders into experience groups, basic, intermediate, advanced. We also added some surprise elements to the drill without telling our participants. Some shooters will parrot the old proverb, never bring a knife to a gunfight. Well, maybe they should say, never bring a weapon to a fight you're not willing to win. First shooter up is Kayla. You can tell she gets surprised right off the bat, and we see the hands come up, and then they go into kind of a fetal position. So we want to always hammer home that you got to win the fight, and you got to follow through. So if you make a mistake, work the problem, come up with a solution. Her second test, she does a little bit better. We knows a few things. One, you'll notice that she has a very unrefined garment draw. She's still struggling to get that garment out of the way so that she can draw her firearm. She does manage to draw her firearm, but it's a little too late. Also, her feet are planted into ground, and she's trying to move backwards without moving her feet, so she ends up getting stabbed. Third test, you'll see that she does a little bit better job, but she ends up muzzling her own firearm because Chase is already right on her. Her attacker is right there. Our second basic shooter is going to be Jordan. He does a little bit better. So you can see he has a very nice high garment draw, clearing that garment out of the way so that he can draw that firearm up. However, when he draws that firearm up, he ends up popping a round off low, and now he has to bowl that firearm up to where it's level with the attacker's center mass. We want to rotate that first and get that shot off. However, the bad guy is dead. We told them only to shoot one shot with the airsoft pistol because we didn't want to beat up our attackers, but apparently Sam didn't get that memo and continues to stab him prison style. Test 2. All right, we see Jordan, nice high garment draw, good trigger finger discipline, making sure that it's straighten off the trigger, not shoot himself in the leg. A little bit better this time. All right, this is our first intermediate shooter, Shane. You'll see that Shane ended up doing a lot of right stuff. Nice high garment draw, completely cleared that firearm so that he can draw it. Draws off the 45. Finger on the trigger, and he starts to move offline, or what you would call off the X. And you can see the attacker floating away as he's already been shot. So now Shane's going to be utilizing a smartphone.
The House of Intelligence and Foreign Affairs Committee will meet Monday to evaluate the...
And this really mimics people nowadays, how they always have their face in the phone. So it severely diminishes your reactions. You can see Shane drawing his firearm with his garment inside his hand, which does not allow him to fire off that shot. Still has his cell phone in his hand. Drop that phone and save your own life. Our second shooter for the intermediate category is going to be Nathaniel. You can see he does some really good stuff. One is he's cheating, which I didn't catch at first, but he's already cheating his garment, but he's keeping up good situational awareness. That first shot goes and smokes the attacker in the face, but I'd rather have him be a little bit more center mass, gets him in the throat, and then finally in the high left shoulder. The attacker kind of realizes he's dead and kind of gives up. So good first run. Test 2 off of Nathaniel. Alright, so we'll see something classic. He didn't clear that garment, back of the slide, got hooked up, and you'll see it kind of yo-yo out of his hands as he doesn't have good retention. And boom, steak knife in the heart. Third test for the intermediate shooter is we'll run the smartphone again. You'll see he had good situational awareness, but I kind of feel like he kind of knew what was going on once I put that cell phone in his hand. You can see he starts to crawl because he got caught off guard. Crawl his fingers up to clear that garment. It's not what we want. He starts to backpedal, but you'll see that the attacker catches up in about a pace and a half. He managed to get that firearm out, fire off that last shot, but he already got stabbed, so we'll call it a double KO. Morgan is an intermediate shooter. She had a few issues here. We have some nice chest cam footage. So you'll see that she starts to draw, but I think she drew off of my words when I called action, and then she had a little stutter step, so that's why she was so far behind the curve. When she draws, she loses retention of the firearm because she's so focused on the attacker, and she ends up getting stabbed. This is our second test. She does a little bit better. So you'll notice that she has a very interesting garment draw. It tends to get in her own way. But she still has plenty of space to fire off a couple of shots. But you'll notice that one of the training isms on flat range is to keeping your finger straight off that trigger. She managed to get that one shot off, but we'll call it a double KO. And this is the smartphone test. Morgan had the most realistic smartphone test. As you can see, she was very concentrated on what her phone was. Shoulders hunched over, head focused in. Didn't realize what was happening until she heard the footsteps, and I believe 99% of people would react that way. Aurea is our last intermediate shooter. So you can tell that she is drawing a pendants carry, which is beneficial for the video. Nice, clean draw. She's very, very fast. Look at all that distance. Great distance. However, again, trigger finger is straightened off the trigger, even though she has an intention to fire. So she loses that space, but she got him in the face, right in the T-zone. He might have been that dead guy that fell to a heap at her feet, but we'll never know. So Aurea goes through the smartphone test. She switches hands with the phone, and then she tries to grab her garment with a phone in her hand, which is highly inefficient, and she ends up getting smoked in this one as well. Our first advanced shooter is going to be Travis. He's got 2 attackers, and one of them charges. So, one, you'll notice, nice high garment draw. Boom, smokes him in the face while pedaling backwards. That's good, but I'd rather hit him shoot center mass and not miss over his head. Second shot is center mass. That's a kill shot. Second test, 2 people take off. One is fleeing and one is attacking, so he has to make that decision. Nice high garment draw. He's making that decision on who's going to really attack him. Boom. He fires off a shot. It's a leg shot. I don't know if that's going to stop him. By the time he gets center mass, it looks like a double KO. This is Jeff, one of our instructors here at the arms room. He'll be put through the same paces as Travis. One moves. As you can tell, boom, right here. Shane says, "No easy shots, sir. We're going to go hard today." And you can see how he really extended, trying to really get that stab in. Jeff was able to wheel out of the way in the last second, which is good, but you'll see how off balance he was because he had to push it to the 110%. All right, you'll notice the one thing that Jeff flubbed on was as he drew, he got his thumb in the way. And then as he takes his thumb out, he again misses the firearm. Gets it, but he's moving offline. You can look at Shane's face. He's like, oh, I'm going to make it this time. No, sir, not today. He wheels out of the way, and then he continues to follow through. He doesn't just move out of the way. He follows through with his firearm, and that's a dead attacker. And finally, this is the shoot no shoot. Two people are moving. One is fleeing. The other is attacking. So you'll notice immediately fixed his draw, got the garment out of the way, rotated 45, moving offline, great distance. He's going to keep on him. The attacker's going to move in, pop, 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 pop. He's down, and that is it.